So on New Year's Day this year, 2021, January 1st, I made my very first YouTube video on this channel talking about my master plan for 2021. And this video is going to be discussing that so-called master plan and just seeing how it went. In the next few days, I'll make a second video talking about my 2022 goals, which will come out on Boxing Day, so stay tuned. So before filming this video, I actually rewatched my very first video on this channel, and it is probably the most cringiest video on this channel, and just the way that I'm speaking, the body language, even the editing, and just everything about the video is just very off. It's just very, very cringe, and it actually makes me embarrassed that that video is on this channel. But the reason that I've left it is because it actually shows the progression from starting from pretty much 0 subscribers and just creating content, getting better with speaking at the camera, editing, all that sort of stuff. So if you are looking to start YouTube, I highly recommend just make your first video. It's gonna be crap. Everybody's first video is pretty crap, but the more you make those videos, you'll be getting better with quantity and so on. So definitely make sure you start the channel if that's what you want to do. So anyways, in that video, I listed 4 main goals I want to focus on this year. 2 of those goals were social media goals and 2 of them were money goals. Now, the very important thing about these goals is the fact that these are all process-driven goals. These are not outcome goals, which means that these are things that I can personally directly influence rather than actually focusing on the outcome, which I can't really control. So essentially, you'll see that I'm focusing on the inputs rather than focusing on the outputs, and you'll see what I mean, starting off with the social media goals. So goal number 1 was a YouTube goal, and this was to make 150 YouTube videos in a single year, which is just absolutely insane. That is almost, 3 videos per week. Currently, as you're watching the video, this is going to be my 137th video, and based on the current run rate, I'll get to about 140 videos before the end of the year. So definitely, I will be failing this goal for sure. Now, creating 150 videos while working full-time, 3 videos per week, is a very hard thing to do, and this whole goal was just very far-fetched, and I'm surprised I even reached, 140 videos to begin with, because it was a pretty challenging year. And, the only reason why I set this goal was to pretty much grow as fast as possible, pump out the videos and just get the videos going, so at least they can start to gain some sort of traction. But in the long run, it is really not sustainable if you're just working full-time while doing YouTube on the side. It is just not the way to go. Now, you'll also notice when people usually aim for YouTube goals, they aim for a subscriber goal, meaning that they're focusing on an outcome-based goal, and that's completely fine if that's what they want to do. But this was an input goal, meaning that I was focusing on just making the videos, and the goal was based on the quantity of videos, not the actual, subscribers or likes or followers or whatever, which is eventually what I want. However, to actually get there, you have to make content, and content is something that personally I can directly influence. So for me, it is much better to focus on the inputs, and then the outputs will follow as long as you can take care of the inputs. Now, full disclosure, focusing on this whole idea of input goals and not output goals, I stole this idea from a fellow YouTuber, my favorite YouTuber, who is Ali Abdul. Basically, he just tries to focus on input goals, and that works for him. And I think it is a pretty good strategy, because you can't directly influence who clicks subscribe. You can't directly influence who clicks the follow button, the like button or whatever, or comments. So it's just better to focus on the quantity and quality. Social media goal number 2 was to create 300 TikTok videos. Now, for those of you guys who only know me from YouTube, I also have a TikTok page where I actually first started on TikTok making videos in like August 2020. And I've got about 30 something K subscribers or followers on there. So go check it out. There's some good content there. That's where I initially started to get some confidence and all that. So go check it out. But to actually create 300 TikTok videos at the late end of 2020, I thought that was pretty achievable. I don't know what I was thinking. And in my very first YouTube video, I referred to making 300 videos as, but I just want to take it slow and see how that goes, which is just absurd. And obviously I didn't get there. I ended up making around 100 videos or so. So this, makes me think whether it is a better idea to just aim for like super high goals and try to reach them and fail, rather than actually setting like super low goals and meeting those goals. I'm not too sure which is the best approach. Let me know what you guys think. And then you'll also notice that this was an input goal. I wasn't aiming for a follower goal, but I was aiming for an input goal, which is the amount of videos that I can create. Now, moving on to money goals, which is probably the most interesting part, and the part which you're probably the most, intrigued about, is my goal was to actually invest around $3,500 per month, which turns out to be about $42,000 per year, which is just insane when you think about it. So I calculated this number of $42,000 at the start of the year. I kind of just looked at the income that I was getting every fortnight after tax, and then I looked at what my projected expenses would be, and I tried to work out how much I would be investing and how much I would be spending. I pretty much gave myself like a monthly kind of spending allowance, which would, give me like pretty decent room to actually, spend money and invest at the same time. So that worked out quite well. And looking at it as of now, I actually haven't even spent the allotted money that I had to spend for this year. So it definitely has been fairly good. So how much did I invest? Looking at it as of now, which is the 22nd of December, I ended up investing around $60,000 across stocks and crypto, which just blows my mind. I did not think I could actually achieve this at the start of the year. It is well over $1,000 per week, which definitely smashes my initial target for sure, and I am quite grateful. Now, the thing I want to make very clear, and I think it's very important to mention this with videos like this, is the fact that it's very important to be transparent and actually talk about the circumstances that led to this sort of stuff happening, because investing this amount of money at the age of like 23, this is definitely not normal, and this is not a benchmark that everybody can achieve or should be aiming for. It's all very personal when it comes to personal finance, and it's very important for me to actually talk about why I was able to do this. So firstly, I work in finance, and it's quite a decently well-paid job. I work as a banker, and I recently got a new job as well. So that definitely helps a lot in terms of the income side of things. Secondly is the whole COVID situation. Most of this year, I was just working from home. So of course, I was saving a lot of money on the daily coffee, eating out, travel. Opal fees are so expensive in Sydney. So I was saving money on all those things, which helped out with the expenses side as well. Number three, I don't have any sort of high interest debt or any sort of consumer debt. The only debt that I have is just HEX debt, which is probably the best type of debt that a person could have. So no bad debts. And then number four, I don't have, some sort of a spending problem where I'm overspending and, trying to not optimize my budget and things like that. Everything is fairly optimized. So the whole understanding of money is there. Number five, I did have some money in savings as well, which I used to invest. And I had some other uses for the money because obviously, it wasn't really earning too much money in a savings account, so it was better to invest it. And then lastly, number six is I do live with my parents. So that is a very important point to mention, because obviously not everybody has a luxury to do that. And I'm quite, grateful for it. But it is very important to be transparent with this sort of stuff. So these are the circumstances. Obviously, I fully understand that not every person can achieve this. This is just me kind of documenting, what I'm trying to do essentially. But I do recommend, if you do have the option to live with your parents and actually do that, that is absolutely amazing, because then you can really get your finances in order, get your savings up, get your emergency fund up, and then you can start to invest money and essentially just capitalize on your unfair advantages. Goal number four was to buy an investment property, and this definitely did not happen. The whole idea was to, start researching property, start from absolute, beginner level, and then become an investor, become a property investor. And I was going to pretty much document the whole journey on YouTube and TikTok. Pretty much me researching properties, me talking to, real estate agents, buyers agents, all these different types of people, mortgage brokers, and pretty much showing you guys what it takes to buy a property, the whole process, the experience, and it will be like a very kind of learning thing, like a huge learning experience for myself and you as well, because I'm fully sure that people watching this video right now want to buy a property, but it just seems such a hard thing to do. And personally for me, it's a very hard thing as well, because I don't know anything about property, and it will be a very good learning experience. But obviously that did not happen due to a few things that came up this year, mainly COVID and a few other things as well, unfortunately. So yeah, look, I can, understand stock market pretty well, ETFs, stocks, and all these, anything kind of stock market related, but when it comes to property, it just seems so hard. So there you have it. These are all my goals, and there is the conclusion. Of course, I did not reach all my goals, but that's okay. Next year, I will be setting some realistic goals and making sure that I don't go overboard. And this whole year was a learning exercise to actually figure out what goals are achievable, what goals are not achievable, and what goals can actually be changed throughout the year. So in the next few days on Boxing Day, hopefully I'll make a video talking about my goals for 2022, and you can see my new and evolved goals, and hopefully they'll be better than this year's goals. I hope you guys have a lovely Christmas, and if you enjoyed this video, check out this video right here, which is my very first YouTube video on this channel. As I said, this video talks about the goals which are discussed in this video, and you can see how cringy this video is. So go check it out. And guys, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now. Goal number 4 was to buy an investment property, and the goal with